Good morning, my friends. Good morning, good morning. I am sitting outdoors. It is extremely cloudy. So I imagine I'm going to get rain down here in just a little bit. So I've had, when I start to make appointments and strategize for my wellness consulting stuff, a lot of things come up, a lot of different issues, a lot of different problems. I hesitate to even call them medical problems because many times they are treated as if they are mental health problems. Things like depression and just chronic fatigue, mood swings, rage disorders, attention disorders, the inability to focus. I am not a physician. I'm not. I'm just going to speak to you from what I've experienced over the last 22 years. I understand that there are real mental health issues out there. There are real issues that need to be dealt with. But I'm not convinced that the best way to deal with them is to start with medications that have more side effects, medications that create more issues, medications that wreak havoc on the intestines, medications that, they flat out tell you if you have suicidal thoughts, you probably need to discontinue using. I have to wonder sometimes, and don't misunderstand me, I'm not being arrogant about this. I'm not. I'm just telling you what I've seen over the course of the last 22 years of talking to people about bettering their health and wellness. I think that a lot of what's going on up here is not only connected to brain chemistry and healing, the need for omega-3s, the need for vitamin B, methylated vitamin B. Vitamins are great to support energy needs. I don't think that this is all just nutritional and biochemical, although that's the area that I seem to work a lot in. I think that we also have a lot of spiritual needs that we don't want to talk about. And this is coming from someone that has dealt with a lot of her own anger and her own bitterness and her own inability to forgive. Listen, friends, God does not want you to live in a place of hurt. It's not that the hurts didn't happen. The hurts did happen. The pain was caused. You may have very well been victimized. Those things do happen. I know that. I've been there. I've been that victim. In, domestic violence, experienced that. Sexual abuse, experienced that. Trauma as a child, experienced that. The feeling of abandonment, experienced that. But your life has to go on, and it cannot go on in the bounds of unforgiveness, bitterness, and pain. You deserve to have life after victimization. You deserve to have that. And so what I'm saying is this. I'm not a doctor. I don't know what's causing all of the angst in the world, the hurt in the world, the depression, the mental health issues, the lack of energy, the lack of focus. I know that those things need to be dealt with from a nutritional perspective most all the time. There are some cases where it's not just nutritional, it's needs to be dealt with medically. I get that. I do get that. I'm not saying mental health issues are not real. They are real. What I am saying is this. When we run to a medication without also trying to address nutritional needs, biochemical needs, the needs of our brain to have healing natural help, like omega-3s. When we don't treat our need for the ability to focus, we don't treat our energy with vitamin B12 and detoxification. When we don't do that, and we jump right on medications, I think we're cheating ourselves out of an experience, because not only do the meds give us the opinion, aha, that's all I have to do, then we never deal with the spiritual ramifications of our hurt. We never deal with the coming to grips with being a victim. We never deal with how to forgive. And we kind of get stuck. We kind of get stuck in this place of, well, I'm taking pills, so. And I know people are desperate for help. I know they are. But if I'm able to treat my mental health, my lack of energy, my depression, if I'm able to do that from the natural side of things, if at all possible, then I don't have to deal with side effects. I can just focus on dealing with the nutritional needs and the spiritual need of all my hurt, which has to be dealt with. The spiritual needs of being a victim have to be dealt with. You have to deal with the bitterness and the unforgiveness and the anger and the hurt, and understanding and getting to a place where you realize the person or persons who injured me, guess what? Sadly, for those of us that have been traumatized, we have to come to grips with the fact that God loves them as much as He loves us. That doesn't seem fair. I know. But we got to get a grip on who God is, who He says we are, how valuable we are to Him, and the purposes He has for us after our trauma, after our pain and suffering. And we can't get there until we find a way to forgive. And if we take lots of medication to deal with our depression first, I'm not saying not to take any, but I'm saying don't forget to deal with the spiritual ramifications of being victimized. It has to be dealt with. You guys know I'm working on this project. This is the reason why this came to mind. I'm working on this discarded daughter project for women who had no fathers, or who, if they did, they were abusers or neglectful, or abandoned them. So this dealing with forgiveness and whatnot is at the forefront of my thoughts all the time, as I pray about the people that will see this study and that will read this book and will hopefully find some peace and a way to forgive and get some freedom. Because I'm telling you, the inability to forgive the people that hurt you is not keeping them in bondage. It's keeping you in bondage. And it has to be dealt with. You have to deal with that. And like I said, I understand medications help with people who deal with trauma and being victims and depression. I get all of that. I know it. I get it. But I'm telling you that if you don't have a sit down and talk to Jesus about this moment, then you will never be able to move forward. You'll never be able to press on and find out what your calling is. Get some clarity about, well, now that you got to get to the place where you've got freedom to forgive, right? So that's my hope with all of this. Hi, Heather. Long time no see. Catwoman. I think that you've got to, I have loved ones that are telling me I'm just drained, I'm depressed, I've got no energy, and sometimes I just want to end it all, and it breaks my heart, because God can work you through that. God can work you through that pain and that being a victim and that hurt and give you some freedom. He can. I promise you. He can do that. He can do that. And He wants to do that for you. He wants to do that for you. So, I'm not a doctor, but sometimes I wonder, could we deal with the anxieties and the hurts and the pains, not only nutritionally, but also spiritually, and let God get hold of your heart and love you through it and show you how to be free from that pain and that bitterness? Okay, let's get on with it. And you know I love ya.